guys, welcome back to my channel. It's G from Happiness and Crafting. So today I thought we would just paint this lovely little bit of canvas. Now this is what I had left over from last week. I was making the little sort of like canvasy words. I'll link the video down underneath in case you didn't see it, if you'd like to see it. This is just, well, it's a little bit of calico, which I've painted with gesso. And this piece that I sort of had left over, I thought would be quite nice to make just a little tiny journal. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to paint it. And I just thought I might do sort of like a little background. And then when it's dry, I might just sort of like sew bits of fabric onto it, and maybe make like a little sewn flower or something on there. And then once all that is all dry and done, I can back it with something and sew round it. Well, that's my idea anyway. So I just wanted a sort of like a nice little funky background. I've got some of my distress oxides. I've got a nice little selection here of all different colours. I have also got, oops, upside down, I've got some of these lovely Liquitex inks as well. I've even got a bit of yellow, so you never know, might use a bit of yellow. And I've also got some acrylic paint in here. I think this is gesso, and I think this one, I'm not quite sure whether that's the black gesso I had or black acrylic paint. But I know these are acrylic paints, so we shall see. I'm not quite sure what they are, but they will work. So first thing I'm going to do, oh, and as well, I've got my gesso, and you lovelies gave me the idea, because I couldn't get it off, to pop the plastic. Now I did do that years and years and years ago with some of my gesso, but look at that big mess on here. But that just comes off lovely now, so that's perfect. So thank you very much for that one. So what shall we do? What shall we do now? Not quite sure, to tell you the truth, but I might try and use some of these. I haven't got a clue what I'm doing, but I just thought maybe we could use a little bit of acrylic paint. I don't want it too dark, because I would like to sort of like put some, you know, colours over the top, some fabric and things over the top of it. So I'm going to, I've got a little bit of water in here, so let's just spray it. So I'm going to have to leave this to dry anyway before I start to sew on it, because I'll end up with a big mess. So this is just like painting on a canvas now. I've got sort of like gesso on it, which is quite nice. So a little bit of blue, a little bit of water. So let's just sort of like get a bit of a background on it. Should we have a little bit of this pink? Yeah, this is definitely acrylic paint. Let's pop a little bit up here. Shall I come in a bit? Can you see? It's a bit... Let's come in a little bit. It looks a little bit blurry today. So there we go. Just so we've got a nice background on this. Nice and pretty. Because it would be quite nice to have some little flowers and stuff on here, just so it's a nice sort of shabby one, because it will be really pretty to have some fabricy flowers, wouldn't it? Looks a bit rainbowy, doesn't it? Right, what should we have? Should we have a little bit of, maybe we'll go with this one. This is sort of the oxide. This is frayed burlap. It's a little bit too brown, but no, I think maybe a little bit won't be too bad on the bottom. Let's have a little bit of water on there. Oh, it looks almost like a little field, doesn't it? There we go. I do like that. A little bit of, tiny little bit of the dark blue in there. I just don't want it to end up like a big mushy mess. Let's just take some of that greeny colour I've got on there. Little pinker, we have got Worn Lipstick, or we have the Kitsch Flamingo. Let's pop a little nice little bit of bright on there. Doesn't all have to be blended in. I just want to just add a few colours down there. It's going to look quite funky, isn't it? Right, I might just leave that for a minute just to dry, or shall I? Quite like just a little bit of, I want a background, I'm not quite sure what, so let's just have a few little tippy tappies in there. I might go over it with a little bit of gesso as well. We've got this one which is milled lavender. Give that a bit of a shake, because we could turn these little, oh you can't really see that one, turn these little ones actually into little flowers or something, couldn't we? We shall see. A little bit more of this pink, I think. Pink and pretty. Right guys, I'm going to just leave this to dry for a minute and then I will be back. Okay, so it's pretty much dry now. I left it for 10 minutes and I went over with my heat gun. It's a little bit wet, but it should be okay. Now, I found a, where's my pen? What did I just do with that? Here it is. It's a pigment liner, so I'm just wondering if I draw on here, it's going to smudge. Not that I really mind, but I would quite like to draw sort of like a flower on here or something, and then sort of like paint it in. So let's see. I'm not sure, just sort of like a, I don't mind because it goes over, you know, so that's going to sort of like be the middle, but I don't mind. I quite like it sort of like half come over the middle of the spine of the journal. So let's just do a nice big flower. This is 0.8. It's not perfect, but I think we'll just do just a random little flower on here. See how that turns out, like that, and then I can just sort of like paint it in. Like that. Let's do this side. Some little petals on there. What do you reckon? That's not too bad, is it? Like that. Then we know where we're going to sort of paint in the leaves a little bit. The petals, I mean. I might actually draw another one over here. Should we do it to that sort of like the middle? Little petal. There we go. Didn't quite know what I was going to do today, but there we go. That's what that's like. Let's have it like that. Okay. Let's see. What shall we do? Shall we just sort of like go in with a little bit of the pink? Quite like that little spotty bits sort of showing. So we don't have to colour all of it in, but I do think that's going to just bleed a little bit on there, but not that I'm too worried. Just adds to it, doesn't it? So a little bit of pink up here, a little bit in here. Okay, what's this one? My water brush? What do you think? Lovely. Don't really want to wet it too much, but just a little bit of pinky colour in there. There we go. It's quite nice, isn't it? Should we have a little bit of this darker purple? Don't want to sort of paint it in completely, just so we got a little bit, because I'm quite liking sort of like the bluey bits in there as well. And I think sewing on here will look really lovely. I was thinking of putting the fabric flowers on here, but then I thought maybe a little bit of sewing on here when this is completely dry would look nice. Instead of adding the fabric, we'll add a little bit of hand stitching instead. So that's not looking, I think I might have to leave this to dry a little bit longer. So maybe we'll do this now, and then during the week I will do another video where we hand stitch it. But I'm loving that. Maybe pop a few beads in the middle there. Oh, I like that. Right, let's add a little bit of pink to here. Quite like the paint in those little tiny bottles. I put them in there for I could sort of like draw with them. But maybe I will in a minute. I do have my lovely gold and silver pens, which I might pop a few little bits of gold or silver on there as well. But I do like this. What did I use? I used purple, didn't I? But maybe I'm going to go in with a little bit of blue. Oops. A little bit darker on there. Maybe a little bit of purple as well. I think this type of thing, it means sort of like anything goes. You don't have to be able to draw. You just have to be able to sort of make a mess basically and see what you come up with. Just a trial and error, and don't be afraid to sort of experiment with things and colours. Depends how brave you are, doesn't it? Oh, I do like those. Lovely. Might pop a little bit of this blue on here. I like this blue. A bit more on there. Pinks and blues, very pretty. So this is just my water brush I'm painting this in with. I'm not really painting it, I'm just sort of like moving it about actually. It's not exactly painting, is it? Just fancy doing something a little bit prettier this week, just so we can add some nice little bits to it. Love it. Okay, fabulous. Now, shall I put something in there? I might actually, I'm going to be brave. I'm going to go in with a blob of yellow in there and in there. actually pop just a little bit around. I'm not normally a yellow person, but let's just take that out. Move that around a little bit. It will totally just blend itself in anyway. There we go. Oh, this is quite funky, isn't it? So mixing with that blue, it should sort of turn a little bit of green in there. Just turn around just so. Oops, don't want that one. Oh, I do like that. Now I'm going to go in this. I'm not quite sure whether it's white paint or gesso. Let's just see, it's quite thick. So I'm just going to go in around here a little bit. Just to give it a few little sort of almost like little highlights, isn't it? Little marks. Just make some marks on here. It's getting quite wet. This is quite wet now actually. So we'll see. If it dries quite quickly, I will carry on and we will do a little bit of sewing on it. So let's just leave it for a little while in a minute. But that looks fabulous, doesn't it? This is quite hard to press. I'm not quite sure what that is in here. Should have labelled it, shouldn't I? But it's some sort of paint or gesso. It will dry. Which way around? You can have it that way or that way. I think that looks fabulous. How lovely. Okay, I'm just going to quickly dry that. I'll go over it with my heat gun and then I will be back. Okay guys, so I think this is pretty dry now. I did add a little bit more blue around here because it looked a little bit sort of like dirty. I think it was probably the greeny colour that I put in, and then I just splattered it a little bit more, but I just think that looks really, really lovely. I am now going to do a little bit of sewing. I have got my little embroidery threads here. I got like a little case of lovely yummy colours. I've just popped this one. I've taken 3 of the strands on here because these are 6 strands. So I've just taken 3 and I'm just going to just do a little bit up through here. Nothing sort of major. But just a little bit on here, just a little bit of stitching because I think it looks really nice on here. Just a few sort of random stitches. I'm not the best at stitching, but I just wanted another little element in here to go up through. And then I'm going to add a little bit of bling on here. I'll show you a minute. I've got some of the sort of like little diamante chain, which I thought might look quite nice. Just and a little circle in the middle. I don't really have any beads that I wanted to use. I could have done with a few sort of like nice, maybe gold or something, or silver beads on there, but I've only got really tiny ones. and I'd have to use sort of like a little beading needle, and it's going to be too thin to go. It's too fine for this fabric that I've got, because it's been painted on as well. Oops. So I'm just going to do a little bit up through here. Oops. So this is going to be, I think, have all sorts of little bits and pieces on this. Shall I do, which side shall I go? Shall I do one more on here? Maybe I'll go from there. Like that. Oh, I like that. That looks good, doesn't it? Just have... Okay, I won't do all of this, video all of this. I'll come back when I have finished it. But I would like to, I think I might stick the chain on. I've got really nice sort of like super glue that I brought, and I think it's really good. So I might sort of try and stick that on at the end. Let's just go down through there. Oh, I like this. I think that looks fab. Okay. Look at that, looks good, doesn't it? I think that looks really lovely. I'm going to go actually over this side. I could do with another one on here. Don't think I'm going to do all of the petals. I think I'll do a couple of them, but not all of them. Okay, let's stick that on. We shall see, unless I do them in sort of like different colours, would be quite nice, wouldn't it? Oh, I like that. That's lovely. Maybe I'll do this one as well. Let me just tie that off. Yeah, I'm not the best sort of sewer. I've got all the bits and pieces, but when I see everybody else do it, they do amazing stuff. So I'm just adding marks, I suppose you would call it, isn't it? And this is what I was thinking. This is like this lovely gold. It's little crystal chain, and I just thought I might stick. Oops, if I can go in like that, just a little ring around there. I think that should come in a little bit so you can see. Can you see? Don't you think that will look quite nice? A little bit different, I think. I think it will look nice anyway. Let's just come out a little bit. Just like that. Pop that to the side. But I won't stick that on. I'll stick that on last because, like I said, it's going to be on there with a little bit of super glue. So I'd need to sort of like leave it to dry for a little bit. I'm going to do here. Yeah, so this is quite a nice little sort of therapeutic one for a Sunday, isn't it? Because last week my week was absolutely dreadful. So hopefully this week will start off a little bit better. Let's hope so. I think we're going to pop out for a nice little walk this afternoon because we've got a beautiful day. Get a little bit of fresh air on a Sunday. It's quite nice, isn't it? Pull it down. So I hope you guys are having a lovely weekend. A little bit of crafting, or you're shopping, or spending it with family. All sorts of things. Everybody does something different, don't they? Go for a nice walk. Take Jessie for a nice little walk. might even actually just pop down to the beach. It's not too far. There we go. Let's go back down here. This is still, it's hard, this fabric, because obviously it's got paint on it, but it's still, you know, not too bad. This is going to make a really lovely journal cover. I will find a nice funky fabric, I think, to go inside, because I think it needs something quite bright, doesn't it, to go inside of it. Lovely, look at that. Might just do a little bit, maybe I'll just go on to that pink piece over here and just do a few little stitches. Gosh, I see people doing their lovely hand stitching, and all the little stitches are all perfect. As you can see, mine aren't, but that's okay. I still think it looks lovely. Oops. There we go. Let's rethread. Just snip that off. Not the best. I got 3 or 4 strands in there. Oh, I think actually I've got 4. Don't know how many strands. Yeah, there's 4 in here. I don't know that it really, not that it really matters, does it? Just shows I'm not very good at counting. Didn't separate them quite right, but that's okay. It's okay. What do you think? Love it. I don't think I need, I might go, let's just do a little bit. Let's go back down through there. Let's go up there. Like that. Just a couple of little stitches up there. Then I think this little flower is probably done then. Because that looks great, doesn't it? Oh, I do like this. Oh, I was going to pop a few little silver dots on here as well, because I do love those little pens, the little silver markers that I've got. Got silver and gold, but I think the silver will look quite nice. Oops. Let's chop that off. Lovely, I do like that. So I will finish this one off in a minute. Let's just pop some little, I've got 2. This is a thicker one and this is a thinner one. So what do you reckon? I don't think you'll see the little tiny ones, but I just wanted to bring a little bit of shiny into here. I suppose I could do a few of the smaller ones, I suppose. I do love these pens. Just wondering whether it's going to stay as shiny on there. Can you see? Reflection on that. It's beautiful, isn't it? Should we do a few down through here? Makes it look a little bit more, I don't know, fantasy, I suppose, when you've got like these little shiny sort of spots on there. Oh, I love it. I think that's fabulous. Just coming down. Beautiful. Let's have a few coming up there like that. I do like it on the blue, the silver and the blue, but silver and blue do go together really well anyway, don't they? So that is beautiful, isn't it? Can you see that? I'll do a close-up anyway. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to go off and I'm just going to sew these little bits on here, and maybe a few more on here, we'll see, and then I will come back. Okay guys, so what I have done, I've did that just now, and then I've added it to this one over here, and I've also added the little bit of bling around there, so it's really nice. I think that looks lovely. So what I am going to do, I'm going to do this one, but the first thing, I've got a little box of scrap fabric bits, and this one was in there, and I just thought the colours are just perfect, so I might just cut a little bit out and sort of like stick it onto there, which I love. That's a little bit too small, but I also have this lovely little spotty blue on there as well, which is quite nice. So I'm just wondering what to stick it on with. Maybe I should use just a little bit of gel matte medium on there. So I'm just gonna just cut a little bit. Should we put that on this one? Let's make it a little bit smaller, just so we've got a little bit of fabric on the ones that I haven't put some stitching on. So that looks quite nice, doesn't it? Just a little bit. Stick that on. Just stick that on like that. Oh, did I just flick that off? Oh, I like that. Oh, let me just get some matte medium. Okay, I've got this one, the Liquitex one. So let's just pop that in a little... Oh gosh, that's an awful lot. That's okay though. Let's take a little brush. Should I come in a little bit more? Oops. There we go. Let's just pop that on there. Oh, I like that. I was thinking of sewing it on, but I think I quite like the idea of it just being stuck on, as long as that paint doesn't go through. Just see that. Shall we have a little bit more? I quite like that. It's like building up a little sort of a collage, isn't it? These aren't the best scissors. There we go, over that little bit of blue. Don't know whether I'll be able to sew through this if it doesn't go too hard, because sometimes the gel medium goes really hard, doesn't it? Oh, I like that. That looks fabulous. Oh, it's a bit of green. Can I put a little bit of green down? What do you think? I don't think you'll be able to see it. I quite like the spotty, and I like this one as well. Should we just have another tiny bit of this? Right next to it, right there, I think. Lovely. I hope you're going to be able to see that. I think so. Take that little bit, put it on there, cut that off just a fraction more. It's a good way of using up scraps as well, isn't it? Should we make sure I'm in the right place? Oh, I do like that. I do like that. Shall we have a little bit on this one over here, shall we? Calm that down. Just a little tiny bit down through there. Oops. Lovely. If that's gone hard. That super glue is so good. I really, really love it. Stick this little odd piece on there. Then we just need a little spotty piece, don't we? Let's just have another bit. Put my paintbrush down. Probably make it a little bit easier for me. Let's go round and have that little spotty there. Perfect. Gosh, I do like the way this has come out. Right, so that will go back in its little pot in a moment. But look, can you see? Just about see the little bits of fabric on there. Oh, I love it. Oh, that looks fabulous, doesn't it? Now what I'm going to do, pop these little bits of fabric on there. I might pop a few more on in a minute, but let's just see. I'm going to take this little bit of blingy chain. We want roughly, just pop it in a little loop like that. And then I'm just going to take there, just trim that off. Oops. There we go. A little bit of this glue. This is one from Amazon. I'll pop a little link underneath, but this is the one that was doing my paper clips and my brads. I made some more brads with these as well. Take my tweezers. Stick that in, a little loop like that, and that will just set lovely. Look at that. Perfect. I love it. Look at that. Don't know, look, that's gone cloudy. I'm not sure whether the glue makes it go cloudy. I wonder. Do you think it takes the sparkle off? We shall see. I wonder if it's because it's got onto the little crystals. Well, I'm going to leave it and I will see and let you know if it's sort of going to make it look all cloudy, because that's not good. I want the sparkle. So that's beautiful. I am loving how that's turned out today. So this will just turn over like that, and that's going to be the front of the cover. Now, I'm going to just see how this gel turns out, and I might, this is the matte medium, I mean, if that's not too hard, I might actually do a little bit of stitching on there. See, a little bit on there, we shall see, but I'm going to leave it like that for now because I absolutely love it. I think it looks beautiful. So there we go, guys. That's a nice little funky one for today, which is lovely, isn't it? I might just add a few more bits and pieces, maybe go around with a little bit of the white. I think it might need, let's go around this way, just on here, just to bring this out a little bit. Can you see? Just a little bit. Add a little bit here and there. I think will look really nice because that's sort of blended over. But I think this. What do you think? I think it looks nice, don't you? Bring that in. But that black didn't smudge too much, did it? That my little pen. But I'm loving it. So there we go. I'm going to leave it like that before I start fiddling too much. Let's make sure you're in view there. So there we go, guys. Thank you so much for joining me. This is just some calico fabric with some gesso over the top, and then I've just painted over it, which I am loving. So I will carry on with this probably during the week and add the inside and some papers to it. We'll cover the back with something and some papers. So there we go, guys. Thank you so much for joining me. Have a fantastic rest of the day. Take care, stay safe, and I will see you soon. All right, guys, bye bye.